Thank you for joining us on Data Cloud Now, where we bring you the latest in all things data in business and industry. Today, we are covering one of my favorite topics, sustainable finance. I'm now passing things off to our DCN correspondent in Mumbai, India, Gautam Srinivasan. Enjoy.
Thank you, Ryan. I'm Gautam Srinivasan and welcome to Data Cloud Now. I'm joined now by Kaushik Ghosh Dastidar, Head of ESG Cloud Solutions for NatWest. Great to have you with us, Kaushik, and looking forward to understanding more from you about data playing a lead role in value creation, purpose-led value creation for financial services. So let's start with a broad overview. Fintechs are kind of capturing the headlines in India, innovation and tech married with finance. So from that perspective, all the possibilities being unlocked by data, AI, analytics, what are some of the things that you could import from here and have global applications abroad, in your opinion?
Thanks, Gautam, first of all, for inviting me here. So data, AI, ML, and deep analytics, I would say, plays a big role in what we are doing at NatWest. So at NatWest, we are looking to essentially transform our whole data architecture. So being a historic bank with over 400 years of worth of legacy, so you can imagine as a financial firm, anyway you have got silos building up. What we're looking to do over the course of next 5 to 10 years, move all those estates in cloud, and me coming from the ESG background and heading the ESG solution is kind of leading that, templatize it, if that's a word. So what we have done is we have moved our whole estate in cloud, kept Snowflake at the center of it, and it is for data modeling, AI, and other analytics and reporting purposes, which is also going to support our ingestion of data and other app connection. So what we're doing is, once you have done that, we want to roll it out for the rest of the bank. And that's how I think the use cases that you mentioned in India is having a direct impact in NatWest. And also importantly, we have thousands of employees of NatWest over here in our development centers across Delhi and Bangalore. I think that's an important thing for all data engineers and data scientists.
Absolutely. And we'll expand on the association with Snowflake. But before that, I also want to understand, what does climate leadership mean to, say, financial services funds, and especially for NatWest, which has taken the lead in kind of trying to create value for customers and society using the power of technology?
Yep. So our CEO, Alison Rose, she realized that climate is something that we'll have to deal with for our generation and for the coming generations for the next 2-3 decades, at least, if you do it right, or probably worse if you do it wrong. And for that, we have kept climate as a center strategy for the bank. And what does that mean? It means it's a 3-pronged attack, you can think of it that way. First of all, and most importantly, get out of lending which is harmful for the planet. As a result, what we have already done is reduced our underwriting to coal, and we plan to phase out in the next couple of years. For oil and gas and other energy company, we're engaging with them actively to ensure that we have a transition plan with them. And if a customer is not aligned to that, then we actually take the hard decision to move out, even if it means that we are not part of that account. Second is collaboration. Collaboration has become very important. So collaboration has multiple levels. So you're looking at collaboration for somebody like a company called Kogo, which is allowing customers, retail customers, through app monitor their what is their carbon exposure based on the transactions or the credit card or the debit card transactions they would have done. Then we have other collaboration like the Octopus Energy for all renewables. We've got the Microsoft for app development, and then the last but probably the most important one is for customers. Customers, and this is primarily for retail and SME customers, small medium enterprises, because large firms have their probably whole team and legal system to help them with the ESG journey. But the other ones, they need to understand this 1.5 degree centigrade target. What does it mean in practical terms? It could mean for them, for retail customer, it might mean, instead of buying food from one supermarket, I'll buy another one because the other one is more sustainably oriented. Or it could mean for farmers that they change their farming technique to more hydroponic or install solar. So these measures, we're actively engaging with individual customers and helping them. For us, that is climate leadership, and will continue to be. Our goal is to become the best climate-related bank for UK and possibly for Europe.
Well, we certainly hope you achieve that goal. Now, looking at the challenges which present itself in this landscape, whether it's sourcing, data quality, standardization, some of these issues which come up from the lens of how these can be addressed. We are at Snowflake's Data Cloud World Tour. I want to understand how that association with Snowflake helps you overcome these challenges and add to your oversight and transparency.
Data is definitely front and center of all our objectives, because what we have done is something called science-based targets. So let's say one of the objective that we have is reduced our financed emission by 50% by 2030. What it means is, as we are lending out to customers, all kinds of customers, there is something called a scope 3 emission, as in what is the end customer using that money for and how much emissions they are generating. What we have committed to from a baseline position to up to 2030, we will reduce that number, the starting point, by 50%, which is a big target, especially if you consider that we are not looking to reduce our book size. That will continue to grow, but even with that, we want to reduce the target. Now, the measurement creates massive challenge. It is a big unstructured problem, because these are the kind of data banks and financial services are not dealt with before. This is the first time we're kind of greenfielding it completely. So we have to get data from vendors, multiple vendors, to understand who has the best kind of data, because there's no standards. Maybe research paper from website, maybe our internal data is not up to the mark, we need to standardize that. Bringing it all together and then having the data to do the baseline measurement and then forecasting how it is going to change for the next 10 years and 30 years up to 2050. It's a problem that nobody has done before.
All right. Looking forward, how will improved access to sustainability data inform NatWest's, say, ESG investments or, sustainability initiatives and risk management strategies? And, how do you see that unlocking new potential economic and business opportunities?
What we are looking to do is, as we get better data, more data from variety of sources, we want to embed that to the whole thread of customer journey, right from customer acquisition to dealing with the application of the customer, to credit accessing for new money application, right up to the end where we have to make a decision that I have got a finite amount of capital that I can allocate to 5 different customers maybe. Which one do I choose? Do I choose only the ones who has got good credit, or I choose the person who has better credit, ESG scores maybe, or maybe different metrics that we'll have to look at. So this I will say industrialization of new type of data across the bank, which is not used to, I will say, future tech, is something we are kind of front running, and it'll help our overall journey for the bank.
All right. Now, coming to you, you are a passionate marine conservationist and a climate change remediation advocate. So I want to know from you, how is data going to play, how important a role is data going to play in a lot of financial services firms achieving their net zero targets?
I think data is going to be the only thing that is going to help anyone reach their targets, because unless you measure it, you can't manage it. It's a simple motto. So to measure it, you need data. And for us, for all other financial firms, the goal has to be get data and embed it in the right way. It is not about getting the gold-plated data in the day one. You can start with bronze, but ensure that it is threaded in consistently across the whole channel, which will essentially give you the best result. I think so. And probably I'm generalizing it.
Well, we always hope for the best, as we say. Well, the data cloud can power a new age of sustainable finance. That's the view coming from NatWest. Kaushik, thank you so much for joining us here on Data Cloud. Now, pleasure to speak with you. And of course, thank you to our viewers for tuning in. Lots more insights in store at the Data Cloud World Tour India series.